Are you constantly chasing perfection in every corner of your life? You know, before visitors come to your home, you probably invited them for lunch or dinner. You're busy running around rearranging everything, making sure it looks perfect. Or is it maybe that new job at work where you feel, I will not be able to do this job. I can't do this. They have picked the wrong person for this promotion. I can't do it. And then you're constantly afraid that, oh my goodness, I'm going to be caught out because I'm faking it. Are you constantly going through perfectionism and then doubting whether or not you can do what you're meant to be doing? Can you relate to this? If so, stick around and we'll uncover the truths about perfectionism and its connection to imposter syndrome. Hi ladies, it's Shibero here. And you know what? I'm absolutely no stranger to the world of perfectionism and the imposter syndrome. Okay, let's start by what perfectionists do. And even as I speak, I really do have to smile because for the longest time I really didn't believe I was a perfectionist until a friend sort of flagged it up and I thought, oh my goodness, I am a perfectionist. So a lot of times we don't realize that actually we are perfectionists. So what do perfectionists do? We actually hold these exceptionally high standards that are totally unrealistic. Why? Because you will never be perfect. But we think if I can get it 100% right, then it'll be okay. So, many a time I have been sitting, writing a document, or even planning a graphic, and I will spend about a whole day because it's got to get better than this, got to get better than this, got to get better than this. And that's what we keep telling ourselves as perfectionists. Okay, so you may be thinking, striving for perfection has its downsides. How deep can it actually go? Well, you listen to this. Well, you know that niggling feeling that you have, I'm never enough. It is never perfect. Well, you know what? Even when you have accomplished so much, that doubt, that self-doubt, that's where the connection comes in and how deep being a perfectionist goes. Okay, this is probably ringing familiar to some of you. And this is what I'd like you to do now. Okay, take a moment, just pause. Think about a time that you achieved something, but you couldn't fully enjoy it because of that voice in your head telling you, you can't do this. Was it just luck? You are gonna get caught out. Think about it. Just reflect. Think about it. And please do drop a comment below or an emoji even if you can actually relate to that. If you've ever felt this way. I know I have a number of times. So this is the other thing about being perfectionist and how it ties in, with the imposter syndrome. When we feel that we cannot do that job or cannot do that particular thing that you've been called to do, here are some of the reasons why you feel you just can't do it. It's because we are afraid of messing up. See how the perfectionist comes in. We are terrified of our own mistakes. We can't deal with mistakes. That fear makes us feel like we're pretending, even when we are not. And that's what perfectionists do, and that's why they are vulnerable to the imposter syndrome. You freeze up and you're afraid of messing up. The other thing that perfectionists do is that they take things to heart, so much so that if you are criticized or you're advised by anybody, you immediately get defensive, like you should know it all. And being criticized is not okay. It means that you have not done well. So instead of looking at it as something that will help you learn and grow, because we all learn through our mistakes and hearing it from other people as well. Feedback. The way perfectionists take it is, oh, I have failed here. And that's again how it works with the imposter syndrome. You take things to heart to the point of the only voices that you're hearing that make things okay is what's going on inside your head. So no criticism, you don't allow that, and you get wounded hearing what other people have to say about your work. And again, I'm smiling because I have experienced this. And yeah, I've since learned to let it go. These are lessons in life, so let's take it to heart. I hope you're also smiling out there with me. We all like compliments, right? Yeah, we like to be told, hey, you did that well, or you've really dressed well, or wow, that was really, really good. Now, it means that we're always going to be looking to people to tell us how good we are. And we know, again, that is not realistic. So when this doesn't happen, what happens? You get back into that imposter thing. You start feeling that you're faking it, that you're not as good as, therefore you can't perform as well as, or look as good as, or do it as well as. Can you see how they're tying in together? And in many ways, perfectionists set themselves up for the imposter syndrome, because your standards are right here. And remember, they're impossible to achieve, really. We can only do so much and say, I've done my best. So when these standards come in and suddenly people are looking at you to actually perform, you suddenly realize, oh my goodness, I will never be able to get it right. Why? Because we've set our standards so high through being a perfectionist. And being a perfectionist, you're constantly pushing yourself to a point where it is never okay. And this is the doubt that now comes out in the imposter syndrome. I cannot do that. I won't be able to do it because I am a perfectionist. Many of us have actually walked this journey of perfectionism and experienced the imposter syndrome pressing away on our shoulders. But something? There is actually a way out, and it's not as difficult as you may think. The first thing that you need to be aware of is that actually you're a perfectionist, and this is how it affects you. So we're going to go through a few things that I hope are going to help you realize that you can break out of it, so that you can start breaking out of the whole imposter syndrome and the whole perfectionism thing, because it is extremely stressful. It's almost like re-traumatizing yourself all the time, knowing that it's never going to be perfect. So what's the first thing that we can actually start working towards in order to break the whole cycle of perfectionism and imposter syndrome? Well, it's quite basic, really. Number one, redefine success. Just because you're not getting it 200%, if there's such a thing, you need to view success as a journey involving growth and learning, not just being flawless. Okay? So you need to redefine what is success to you. And if it is being perfect, then you're still on that road of you'll never get it perfect. So redefine what success is to you and look at it as a journey of learning and growth. Acknowledge your successes, because it's very easy to overlook them. I know I did. I have in the past. So acknowledge the successes that you already have. because every bit counts, whether it is small or big, every bit counts. The next one, self-compassion. Treat yourself with kindness. Remember, perfectionism is a myth. It's overrated. It does not work. You can never be perfect. Do you hear me? Things around you, whatever you do, can never be perfect because we live in an imperfect world. I am imperfect. You are imperfect. We are all imperfect. So be kind to yourself. Be compassionate. For self-compassion. Remember that one. It is okay to not be okay, to not be perfect, because you never will be perfect. The next one is set achievable goals. Because what ends up happening when you set such high goals, you end up sabotaging yourself. So set achievable goals that are also realistic. And again, I'm smiling because I know what it's like. I have been there. In the past, I used to spend like a whole day doing one thing, trying to get it perfect. It's not gonna work. So set yourself achievable goals that are realistic, that you can achieve without having to create so much stress in your body. All right, ladies, you can breathe now. I know that was quite a bit, wasn't it, truly? It was quite heavy, a lot to digest. But please remember, you don't have to do everything overnight. For any change to take place, it takes time. So remember, I had talked about compassion. Be good to yourself. Small, small, small steps. You don't have to do the 10 steps in one day. This is where we're going to start breaking the whole cycle of perfectionism and the imposter syndrome. You can do it, but you've got to want to learn to do it. If you follow the steps that I've given you, you know what? One day you're going to be looking back at yourself and actually laughing. Because seriously, being a perfectionist is hard work. I know. I've been there. It's too stressful. And so as we wrap up, I want you to do just one thing for yourself. Close your eyes and take a deep breath and say to yourself, I am enough. And my journey is valid and valuable. And I am not a perfect human being. And it's so okay. I am on the journey. And remember, if you're ever in doubt, please come back to this video and just watch it and listen to it again and again. It is okay.